What a great day of anime and manga, because there's so much to look forward to, so many good things. Food Wars airs today, Ushio to Tora airs, you have Tora Prison School for those fan service fans, you also have the Classroom Crisis, two other really good series like D-Gray, man, the chapter has finally returned. If you've yet to actually go read that chapter, go read it. I'm still trying to catch up, so of course I didn't read it. But today has been a very good day. A lot of good stuff to really just sit down and watch. There's so many good shows. So, let's talk about Ushio to Tora. Ushio to Tora is getting a lot of good comments about it. I've noticed a lot of Chibits in the past 2 weeks are really liking this series, and it makes me happy. It really makes me happy seeing how so many people are really enjoying this series, because I expected this series to be a flop. I really did, because for it to be a classical shonen, like, you know, going back to the old days of shonen and not really feeling like a modern anime, like it looks modern, but the art style is kind of classical. But I mean, I thought that the series would be a flop, because I didn't think many people would like this type of series that feels like it's an old type of series, especially with some of the cliches it uses. So you can count me as surprised. Like, I didn't expect so many to love this series. I guess it's just because Studio Mappa knows how to draw in the viewers and how to draw in, you know, good series. Like, you know, they do good animation, they do some stuff that's completely different from everything else each season. Like, you know, Shingeki no Bahamut to, you know, Zankyo no Terror. You could say what you will about the series, but it was definitely different compared to everything from that season. And then also you have to where, you know, Punchline, and then now this. There's a lot of good series. So, yeah, I mean, I really love Mappa with what they're doing with this series, because you can have a slice of everything. You can have a slice of modern day anime and a slice of classical day anime from what we were used to from the old days and when we probably all first got into anime. And so I'm like seeing this series. Now, tackling right into this episode, the series is starting to turn into a monster of the week. It's very obvious it is. And I know some might not actually like this, but this is a older series, and I think if you watch this type of series, you should be kind of expecting a situation like this, because this series reminds me a lot of Inuyasha. I mean, this third episode in general also reminds me a lot of Inuyasha. I think there was similar episodes, not exactly, you know, same point for point throughout the episode, like same minute and everything, but I think there was certain points in Inuyasha that had this same element going on through it, especially with, you know, a girl wanting to kill herself and then her father being very possessive. It was definitely a cliche, but it's an old series, so you can't really look down on the cliche since it's an old series, and it was a long time ago, early 1990s when this was made. So I expect this to be Monster of the Week. I just hope that the episodes do have some form of continuation. For instance, they line together and they advance the end game of the series, because there was two characters introduced in this episode that makes me wonder if they're going to be reoccurring characters, because you have the girl that was trying to kill herself and, you know, she survives, and then you also have the dude that was beating up Ushio in this episode. They both see Ushio transform at the end when he saves the day, and then also, you know, Tora saves the day too, which I'll get into Tora in a minute. Those two see Ushio transform, and I wonder, since they just held it off and didn't say much after that, are they going to become reoccurring characters and fight alongside Ushio, or be, you know, supporting cast members, or is that just going to be pushed to the side? I'm really curious, because that would kind of confirm that the series is progressing into some form of endgame. It's just introducing the characters. So I hope that's exactly what it's doing. Now, getting into Tora, what really reminds me of Inuyasha with this series when I start thinking about it is the situation with Tora. I've already mentioned, I think, twice, but Tora's situation reminds me so much of Inuyasha, because the way he starts off, he's like a dude kind of started off slightly as a villain, not a complete villain, but he slightly started off as a villain, wanting to kill our main character, and then as it progressed, he slowly is understanding the feelings of humans, or the person of our MC, and he's slowly helping them out. And that's exactly what's been going on for these past couple episodes. I mean, last week's episode, and then this week's episode, he jumps into the painting, scratches the father, and then, you know, Ushio finishes off the painting. You see that there's some form of bond growing between those two. I don't think really the rivalry is going to disappear, but I do think that Tora is going to become more compassionate as a person, probably understand humans a lot better before the series ends. Overall, though, animation of this episode I felt was really good. I mean, not as good as, like, you know, some of the animation I've seen from previous episodes, but nonetheless, the animation did look pretty damn solid for this type of series. So, yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this week's episode of Ushio to Tora? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.